Ndokara chigaro chamatende uchatendeka. Ave zuva raenda. Ndokara chigaro chamatende uchatendeka. Watendeka. Ave zuva raenda. Ndokara chigaro chamatende uchatendeka. Watendeka. Ave zuva raenda. Ndokara chigaro chamatende uchatendeka. Watendeka. Ave zuva raenda. Ndokara chigaro chamatende uchatendeka. Thokozani, Hotep, Kamagwini, Ninjani. I see a few familiar faces. Thokozani. Royals, we are going to talk. We're switching up. We talked about Jehuti. Now we are switching up to a hot topic. We are going to talk about warlocks. I started talking about this. Makosi Dumagute, Thokozani. No, family, we have to talk about this one because this is a big one. We're going to talk about warlocks. And I want to take us through, by the way, I'm speaking from personal experience. I am not here this is not theory for me at this point. I've been through the initiation of fire. So I'm here to talk about what I know for sure. So please tap the screen. Let's get as many people on here as possible. For those who may not be able to stay until the end, this is going to be uploaded onto YouTube. If you're not already following me on YouTube, family, please go and follow. Please go and like, subscribe, comment. There is a ton of teachings there, which is why sometimes when I come here, I seem to be building on something. And so some of the questions you ask me are questions that I've probably answered 100 times. So if you are new here, you are welcome. Welcome to the family. This is a safe space for Bagwantu. This is an interesting space for those who've not ever been on my lives. I come here as a teacher, but I also come here as a messenger. Many of you know. Oh my God, she says, I finally caught one of your lives. It's destined. Thokoza. This is my precious emerald. I just saw there, your precious emerald. Thokoza, catching you live from eThekwini. Masithokozeni. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's keep tapping. I really want as many people here as possible because what I'm going to share is part message, part warning, part, it's a lot and we need to talk about these things. We are in the season of Jehuti, the season of communication and the season of truth telling, like I just said, previously when I was on here. So family, I want us to talk about warlocks. I did one teaching when I was in South Africa, and it was basically about the predatory behavior of warlocks in the spiritual space. And I want us to continue building on this because I need all of you there to start recognizing or becoming conscious of your surroundings. The thing about this whole thing is that sometimes you don't know what you know until you find yourself in it, right? And so it becomes very important Also to always stay connected with your ancestors because they're your first line of protection and defense. It is also very important to stay pahlad up. Guys, your spiritual practice will be your salvation in the face of warlocks. I kid you not, it's really, really rife out there. There are people that you would not believe are warlocks. But when I share with you some of the hallmarks of a warlock, many of you will be able to start to recognize them. I want to talk to the divine feminine particularly because what is a warlock? A warlock actually is a chosen one. The same way that we have chosen ones all over this planet, we also have chosen ones who are warlocks. What do I mean by that? You have to realize that within the spiritual space, there are realms or kingdoms, if you want to call them that. I prefer to call them realms. There are those who are chosen ones who are spirits or souls. Actually, let's call them souls that are birthed onto this planet for a particular work during a particular time period. So the chosen ones who are on assignment to do what I would call light work. I use that term loosely because, light work isn't always light. Light work sometimes requires you to traverse into the dark side, which some of us have had to do. Like I said, I'm talking to you about warlocks because I've just come out of an initiation, as I call it, in that. Now, warlocks are also chosen, but they are spirits that come into this realm with one singular mission. And their mission is to derail the chosen ones. I'm talking to the divine feminine here. Because if you are chosen and you're a divine feminine, during this time, this incarnation, you have come on a mission by Great Mother. You have come on a mission of restoration. You have come on a mission to clean up. And she's going to be using those chosen ones who are incarnated right now in this time for that great cleanup. We're already seeing it. Now, the warlock is incarnated during this time, at this time, to prevent the work of Great Mother's chosen ones. In other words, a warlock is anti the divine feminine. A warlock is anti divine mother. A warlock is birthed at this time to create chaos and to sap or tap into the souls, not just your energy, divine feminine, but your very essence, your very soul. Because they are so low frequency, can create nothing, can birth nothing. The only way they have energy to sustain themselves and to sustain their dark work is to tap into the souls of the divine feminine. Now, many of you may ask, well, what is the difference between a narcissist and a warlock? I'll tell you, there is a difference. A narcissist is just a man out there who's a narcissist, right? Meaning that this is a person who through trauma or whatever else is so messed up that they are so self-centered and everything they do is about image. Everything they do is about projecting a certain image. It is that image that we call the mask, which every now and then slips and you look into the abyss and you start to see that this is not who you thought they were. That's just a narcissist. A warlock is more sinister because a warlock is on a mission. A warlock is on a life path. Like I said, they're chosen. A warlock is more sinister because they operate using spiritual principles. Very often you will find that warlocks are part of secret societies of the occult. You will find that they do a lot of what we would call, not even, but we call it, I will call it black magic, in the sense that there is nothing fruitful about the magic that they do. It is simply about destruction of the divine feminine in defiance of Great Mother. Very important to understand that if you are a woman, if you are a divine feminine and you are chosen. If you are not yet aware of whether you are chosen or not, if you are not yet aware of your spiritual profile, I'm here to tell you that you're in trouble. I'm here to tell you that you're in trouble because warlocks are very strategic about who they go for. A warlock will have read your profile, your spiritual profile, and your energy long before you even become aware of their presence. They are very thorough in doing their homework about who to go for. They study you. They will study your mission and your purpose. And when they see that either you are unaware of the energy or the power that you carry, or that you are aware, but you pose a threat to their mission, they come after you. Now, the same way that a narcissist will come after you is the same way a warlock will come after you in the physical. Meaning, they will come for you. They will pretend to be this person that they're not. But the added problem with the warlock is that they also into the occult and spiritual practice. They can project into your dream space. They can mirror you. They study you so well that they can literally mirror you, so that when you meet them, you feel like, I've met my soulmate. I've met my twin flame. We are destined to be together, me and this person. Meanwhile, they have really studied your spiritual profile. They've studied who you are, and they are simply mirroring you, and they are giving back to you a reflection of yourself. So you think you're twinned, or you think, oh my gosh, this... Yeah, they are that sinister. The thing with warlocks is they are cold-blooded. When I say cold-blooded is they will go for what they want and they will come for what they want. And if you're not spiritually protected, if you're not spiritually awake, by the time you realize what's happened, your life force is gone. I know many a woman's lifespan that has been cut short through association with warlocks. They serve a different sort of kingdom. Most of the divine feminine are well aware that they need, or they are devotees of Great Mother, the great divine feminine. The warlock is anti that. The warlock is here to maintain the establishment. And they are very cunning and malicious in how they do it, because currently in the spiritual space of Bakwantu, many of them pose as though they are for us, only for us to find that that was a decoy. They had us looking in one direction so that they could do whatever it is that they were doing on the other side. Many of them are in the spiritual space to neutralize the power of the divine feminine by Bluetoothing it and sapping it dry. So it's very important for you to be aware of all this. So be careful as you move through the spiritual space. I once said it, I think it was last year or the year before, when I said men are going to be removed from the spiritual space because they are doing too much. It's already started to happen. And because it's already happening, many of these warlocks are very desperate. And so they're pulling out all the stops to get who they can, how they can. Most of them go for spiritual women. They go for women who hold a certain power or position within a community. They go for women with resources, i.e. money or social capital, and so on. The hallmarks of the warlock is they will suck you dry. They will suck the life force out of you. They will exploit you for your finances. They will exploit you for your creative capital because they have none. They will exploit you for every last thing that you have. And ultimately, they will go for that life force energy. You need to be so careful. A lot of warlocks are into sex magic. This is where you find yourself in a position where do all warlocks know that they are warlocks? Yes, they are very much knowing that they are warlocks. Maybe some of them, when they were younger, they didn't know. But a lot of the ones that are operating in the spiritual space right now of Bagwantu, they're very well aware that they're warlocks. So it's not like they're being used by some external force that is making them do things. No, they're on a mission. So they are power hungry. They will exploit your resources. They will exploit your creativity and all your creative channels. They will exploit your social capital. They are very power hungry. They are extremely egotistical. And at the root of everything that they do, they are misogynists. When it comes to the divine feminine, they are ruthless and they are heartless. So don't ever think you can go up against a warlock and win their compassion or their empathy. They don't have any. I would say that warlocks, and actually a lot of black men, are to black women what palm-colored creatures are to the black nation. They have a level of heartlessness that will make your blood run cold, particularly if you're an empath. They move like the narcissists. You can't reason with them. You can't have a conversation, just a decent conversation with them, without them gaslighting you, without them flipping everything on you. It becomes your fault, you're the problem. They never, ever, ever take accountability. And their level of defense when it comes to you calling out is wild. They will rage and scream and shout everybody down who tries to speak reason to them or to communicate. They have zero emotional intelligence because they don't have emotions other than rage and venom and malice. They're actually very malicious. They don't like women and they don't like children. They have made it, do you know when you can train yourself to pretend so well that people actually for a minute will believe the facade and the mask that you give? But there are times where that mask falls off. And many of you who've dealt with narcissists or warlocks will know this experience, where you're facing one way and suddenly something says turn around, and you turn around and you look at this person and all you see are these black holes. And you stare into what looks like hell, like it's just darkness. Now, psychologists and people like that will call it just a dilation of the pupils when this rage comes over them. But I beg to differ. I've stared into the face of a demon. I can say that unequivocally. So I know what I'm talking about. They can only fake it and pretend for so long before the mask slips. And when they don't get their own way, this is where you see that mask slip, and what you see is pure hatred. Like pure, unadulterated hatred. If you've never experienced that look of hate, I don't wish it upon anyone. So somebody asked a question, how do they perform sex magic? It's very simple. They can project into, remember that when your avatar is sleeping, your spirit is very much alive. They can project into your dreamscape, and you will be busy. You will feel like there is an entity. I don't know which one, succubus, incubus, but you will feel that there is an entity that is having sex with you. And the goal is not the act. The goal is your big O. Because it is at that point where you are exploding that they harness that energy for themselves. Warlocks have no scruples and no morals. They will justify any and everything to themselves. The sense of entitlement is unbelievable. They even feel entitled to the bodies of young women, small children. They don't care. They are on a mission, remember. And so they'll have you distracted looking in. They're like politicians. Politicians do this all the time. When they were about to do something really big, you know what politicians will do? They'll have you look in the opposite direction. While you're looking in the opposite direction, then they do whatever it is they're doing. That is the master manipulation skills of a warlock. Warlocks know how to use the right terminology to get people and to reel people in. Warlocks know exactly how to place people like pawns on a chessboard and move them strategically. And it takes real consciousness for you to actually realize that you're nothing but a piece on a big chessboard and that you're all being played. And that you're all doing one thing and one thing only, and that is to serve the purpose of this warlock. Are there people our mother sends to this plan to spiritually banish them? Yes. There are those who have been sent to deal with the likes of them. But it requires a special knowledge because they are not into, listen, they're not into your you know, the little magic where you do little rituals where you've got candles, red candles and needles and poking and putting people's names in a jar. No. They're not operating on that level. They are operating on a higher occultic level. That is where they operate at. They don't need to go somewhere to mix concoctions or to send something to you. No, it's all here. We're talking high-powered warlocks who they will be sleeping in a bed and their spirit will leave and go. And the body is still there in the bed. That's the stuff you're up against. So if you are spiritually young If you are newly awakened, my advice is stay away from men in the spiritual space. Many of them are quite proud to actually say, I'm a warlock. Those are the babies. Those are the babies that, I flick away with the finger like Futsek. The seasoned ones, the old ones who've been in the game for a minute, they don't go announcing who they are. And like I said, if you are young spiritually, you won't see the wood for the trees. Trust me, when I talk about master manipulators, I know what I'm talking about. They will run circles around you. They will create chaos to keep your nervous system so messed up that you cannot actually see what they're doing right in front of you. They will create chaos as a decoy for the thing that they're actually doing. They thrive on chaos. Remember, they're low vibrational. But they're the same ones you will hear talking about vibrating on a higher frequency. They're the same ones who will be telling you that witchcraft is not real and you shouldn't worry about that. And you're immune to witchcraft if you vibrate high. You're not immune to anything when it comes to a warlock. So we are in warfare, Divine Feminine. You need to really, really be aware of the kind of warfare we're dealing with now. Like I said, I see on the socials, people are fighting each other. You see women, like women spiritualists fighting each other, throwing things. What the hell are you all doing? You don't see the real war that we are facing? This is an existential war we are fighting. This is a war for the survival of the feminine. Because once again, warlocks are anti-Great Mother. They are anti the Divine Feminine, which is why in the spiritual space right now, I hardly hear males talk about the return of Great Mother. I hardly hear them call themselves devotees of Great Mother. The great Bab Credo Mutwa was very clear about his stance. He was once questioned, what is a Sanusi? A Sanusi is a term that is used KwaZulu to describe a certain spiritual being or spiritual person or spiritualist. His answer to that in an interview was that a Sanusi is a Sangoma, right? But, he said, more importantly, a Sanusi is a devotee of Great Mother. So for me, when I look in the spiritual space and I see them all posturing and all jumping up and down and all they want to push down our throats is duality to the exclusion of the supremacy of Great Mother, I question that. Many in the spiritual space are pursuing their own agenda, which has nothing to do with Black unity. It has nothing to do with the rise of the Divine Feminine. It has nothing to do with the wholeness and healing of the Black nation. They are on a more sinister mission. All those catchphrases that they use are the smoke screen and mirrors so that you don't actually see what they're up to. So very, very important to understand that, and they are ruthless. They are ruthless. One of their hallmarks too is if they feel like, you're coming up against them is a smear campaign. They will start talking negative. I'm talking from lived experience. They will trash any and every woman that's ever been around them that has dared to speak out or tried to speak out. And she will be labeled crazy. They've been building this for so long. They're not about to let you come along and mess it up. The best thing that you can do for yourself is protect yourself. And if you have a special assignment from Great Mother to neutralize them, then you get on with that assignment in silence. But you get yourself away from that warlock. It's not even enough to get away. You then have to go into high protection mode. And I think on the next one, I think this has gone on for too long. But then on the, they just scare people with the power they have. Yeah, some of them are into that. They love to scare people with the power that they have. The thing is also, remember, this power that they have is borrowed power. Remember what I said to you guys. They have no power except that which they get from the divine feminine. That is why they like keeping women around them. And that is why they go for a specific type of woman so that they can Bluetooth her energy. On their own, they don't have any power. That is why as the divine feminine, you keep calling your energy back to yourself. You keep canceling all contracts that no longer serve you. Contracts you sign knowingly, contracts that you didn't sign, like that you signed in your dreamscape. Like they're making women do all sorts of things through the dreamscape in order to bypass your consciousness. So your higher self has to be on high alert. And the more fully you embrace who you are as a woman, the more fully you embrace your divinity, your goddess nature, the more they come after you. Because remember, they are anti the divine feminine and they are anti Great Mother. So very important to be aware that as you grow and you rise, you are enemy numero uno. They don't come to you, though, as if you're an enemy. They come with sweet words, and they come with the words like my queen or goddess. It's all a front to hoover you in, to suck you in, to pull you in. Run for your lives. They are insidious, ugly, parasitic creatures. No different, like I said, from palm-colored creatures. And while it can be very difficult to actually come to terms with that, that is just facts. We have to deal with the reality on ground. We cannot as women afford to bury our heads in the sand. We have to look at reality as it is and then deal with it as it is. Yes, somebody said it. They do outstanding things for the community so that they look like they are great people. Of course, it's all part of the facade. It's all part of the facade. Some of them have this pattern that they do, and I know that they do it a lot in South Africa. Because of the contracts and the deals that they sign within their occultic world, they will often spend a whole bunch of money on gifts and parcels, and they take it out onto the streets and start distributing it to poor people. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is so amazing. Look what he does for the community. BS, it's part of their assignment. And remember, there's nothing free out there, family. What they do is, while you're busy taking their gifts. They're taking something from you that is far, far more important. They're taking your life force. They're taking your abundance. Like we're talking, like guys, when I say they are malignant, they are cancerous, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So in the guise of doing something good, they're actually not doing anything good. They're just stealing. What they give you is nothing compared to what they're stealing from you. So family, I really, really need you guys to get on board with this. I see we've got 112 people on here, which is excellent. I'm going to put this on YouTube. Share it out. Share it out. And don't forget, every morning, call your energy back to yourself. We've talked about how to do this. If you don't know how to do it, go on my TikTok. There are videos that I've posted there. If not, go on YouTube. I've talked about this. You need to start calling your energy back to yourself in the morning, because sometimes at night, things are happening to you, but you are not aware because they're smart and slick. They have ways so that things can happen to you in the dreamscape and you're totally unaware because they've closed your third eye. So by the time you are waking up, you really don't know what has happened to you. So when you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, call your energy back to yourself. Cancel any contracts that you may have signed without knowing that you're signing them. Like cancel that shit. At night, before you go to bed, call your energy back to yourself. Call it. From the north, east, south, and west, call your energy back. Call your energy back from any covens. Call from any organizations. Call from any warlocks that may have tapped into your energy. Call it back. Command your energy back. You have Great Mother on your side. She's here for a time such as this. And we will witness the destruction, public humiliation, and embarrassment of all of these warlocks. Call your energy back. As women, if we all do it and we do it consistently and we say we are doing this every morning and every night. Remember, many of us are in different time zones. So it means round the clock, we are all calling energy back. That'll be the death of them. We're literally in a, like I said, we are in a spiritual existential war. And, you know, there are many who say it's a battle between good and evil. That's one way of looking at it. But yeah, we are in a war. If evil is patriarchy and good is matriarchy, yes, then we're definitely in a war. If evil is male dominance and good is the restoration of balance to this planet, then yes, we're definitely in a war. And it's a war of good versus evil. So we need very much to be in deep consciousness. Like, you need to be on high alert. Your higher self is on alert when you sleep, and when you are physically awake, is your avatar and this body that needs to be fully conscious about what's going on around you. Question everything. Especially from the male quarter. Question everything. And a lot of the times, whatever it is you hear them telling you, flip it. Because the truth is probably the exact opposite of what they're trying to feed you. This is the time to really start trusting yourself. Start trusting your higher self. You are creator, goddess. Everything you need is within you. Stop idolizing people outside of yourself. Stop entrusting your spiritual journey, your spiritual growth to anyone outside of yourself. Stop entrusting your well-being, your emotional, your psychological, even your physical well-being to anyone outside of yourself. Stop. That era is gone. It was never there to begin with, but you were programmed to believe that you needed a savior. You were programmed to believe that you needed a man to protect you. Biggest lie ever, because who are we being protected from if not other men? And where's the protection so far? Because we ain't seeing it. We've just had the purple movement over there in South Africa, and we don't see any protection. Women are literally crying out for their physical lives. There's been no protection. For how long have women in South Africa been crying about femicide? So here's what I say. Stop expecting someone to come and save us. Nobody's coming to save us. Get armed. Pepper spray, a pew-pew, or copy. We're not playing here, family. We're not playing here. This is real warfare. Pull all your energy to you. Take care of yourselves and take care of your children. Cover your children spiritually. We tend to leave out the children in all this spiritual chit-chat, but if they can't get you, they're coming for your kids because they know that's the next most precious thing for you. So cover your children. I hope this has been useful. Towas Nkanyezi, how are you, my baby? We've got another Nkanyezi here. So family, when do we not shop? I don't understand what that, when do we not shop? I don't understand that. But anyway, so that is the big difference between your warlock and your run-of-the-mill narcissists. Your run-of-the-mill narcissist, you can go no contact, you disappear, and you're good. With the warlock, oh no. Sometimes your disappearance is a declaration of war, spiritual warfare. So just remember, better to be safe than sorry. Stay away. Stay away, run for dear life. Somebody says, I needed this message. I got attacked a few times last week in my sleep. Thank you for reminding. Yes, you definitely need to take better spiritual care of yourselves. They're not out to play. Because remember, last kicks, what do they call it? The last kicks of a dying horse. I've talked about this before. They're going to get hideous and they're going to get ugly and more desperate. And they're going to pull a lot of desperate moves. And most times that's how you catch them. Is they'll pull a desperate move and you'll be like, ha. So this is how you roll. And like I said, they are anti the divine feminine. They are anti-great mother. Look for the signs. The exploitation of women in their spaces is a big one. Why do you think the churches are so full of women? 90% of churchgoers are women. Why do you think that is? Because at the head of that all is a warlock who is siphoning their energy, keeping that whole entire congregation propped up, not just with their physical monies, their dollars, but with their creativity and that life force energy. So you look around all these spaces and see how women are propping them up. That is when you know that there's a lot of vampirism going on here. We are not here to serve the masculine. We are here in service of Great Mother and for restoration of this planet. And we need to get that here. That way, you stay away from any male creature that looks, sounds like, walks like a warlock. Remember, if it quacks like a duck, it is a duck. Ne? Yeah, we still have a lot of women that uphold the patriarchy and are too deep. Forget about those. There are enough of us who are not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore. There are a lot of us who have been shown the truth. Sadza police, what kind of a question is that? What's happening here? Shia Sangoma. Bye. If you're not liking what's happening here, go. Please don't be disrespectful. Yeah, so Divine Feminine, this is where it's at. This is really where it's at. We need to be fully on high alert because this dying horse has got some pretty dangerous kicks. Oh, it's a genuine question. You can ask me, who are you asking? You can just say, are you a gogo? And I will answer you. And yes, I am a gogo. Towards. On that note, family, let's call it a night. I will be back with more information, especially about how to protect yourself. It's a toughie, that one. Because you don't know what you don't know until you find yourself in it. So we will talk a lot more about this. It's very important. Women in the spiritual space, I am pleading with you. Take good care of yourselves. If it feels wrong, it's wrong. Run. If you meet somebody and you start having weird dreams about that person who happens to be in the spiritual space, run. They are very adept at projecting dreams into your space to the extent that you will start to actually believe that, oh my God, I'm dreaming him, which means my ancestors approve. Really now. Test everything. Test it. Don't make a move before you test it. Ask for that spiritual guidance. Ask your ancestors to speak. Be stubborn and stay in one place until they give you clear confirmation or they kick you in the butt that that's where you're supposed to be. Otherwise, don't move on your own. Stay safe out there, Divine Feminine. Ne? Stay safe. And I'll be back with my next upload, hopefully tomorrow. Let's talk again. Love you, Goddess. I honor you. I'm in awe of you. I'm in great reverence for your creator self as you mirror me. Let's talk again.